Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Hello and welcome to today's webinar. We will talk today about transforming data into dialogue and discuss about AI-powered conversational BI and data democratization. My name is Alex Puyo, and I am the co-CTO and data architect at Mindit. With almost a decade of experience, I'm passionate about data and software engineering. And our goal here at Mindit is to come with the best solutions for organizations to get most out of their digital systems and data. Together with me, I have Christian Seba. So please, Christy.
Hi everyone, and thank you for joining this webinar. So I'm Christian Seba. I'm a technical lead at Mindit, and we're specializing in data analytics, AI, and cloud solutions. And today, together with Alex, we're excited to walk you through Databricks, data governance, and Unity Catalog, among others, and how they can transform the way businesses manage and secure their data. So let's get started.
Thank you so much, Christy. As you mentioned, we will talk today about data democratization, Databricks, a quick overview, data governance using Unity Catalog, conversational BI using Databricks Genie. We will have a demo session and a Q&A at the end. Please remember to ask your questions in the dedicated Q&A section throughout the webinar, and we will try to answer all of them at the end. No further ado, let's start with the data democratization. Imagine a library where only a few people are allowed to read the books. Everyone else only gets the summary. If you need information, you have to request access and wait. Now imagine and think about the internet, a modern digital library where everyone can instantly search, access, and use the knowledge they need. That's what data democratization is about. Besides the buzziness of the concept, which increased in popularity in the last years, data democratization became a common interest for many organizations out there. With more and more data being collected, the needs to access the data faster, to trust it, and make decisions based on it increased. That is how data democratization can help by allowing any business users access the appropriate data in a timely manner, be confident that the data is certified and it can be safely used and back decision with it. For the many benefits that data democratization brings, like breaking down the data silos, increasing the data-driven decisions, it faces also a lot of challenges. Most commonly, you would see security concerns, uncomplying with the regulations and your IT security requirements, limited data literacy, or knowledge about the tools that are there and how they can be accessed, and hopefully a decreasing challenge, low quality data. Today we'll discuss how centralizing your data platform and applying the appropriate governance can turn these challenges into opportunities. And talking about the data platform, let's have a look at Databricks and let's have Christy tell us more about it.
Thank you, Alex. So let me introduce you to Databricks, a powerful cloud-based data analytics and AI platform designed to help organizations unlock the full potential of their data. Databricks was built on Apache Spark, an open source framework known for its ability to process massive datasets at high speeds. But Databricks takes it further, offering a unified platform where data engineers, data scientists, and business analysts can collaborate efficiently. With Databricks, you can ingest, clean, transform data from various sources at scale. You can run advanced analytics and machine learning models efficiently, and you can leverage the power of Delta Lake, ensuring data reliability and performance, and you can collaborate in real time using notebooks that support Python, SQL, Scala, and R. So what makes Databricks unique? It's the lakehouse architecture behind it, a hybrid approach combining the best of data lakes and data warehouses, providing both flexibility and structure. This means you get high-speed queries, robust governance, and cost efficiency, all in one platform. So whether you're dealing with big data, AI, or real-time analytics, Databricks empowers teams to work smarter and drive faster business insights altogether. Now that we covered how Databricks helps organizations unlock the power of data, let's talk about something just as critical, which is data governance. So in today's data-driven world, governance is no longer optional. It's a necessity. Organizations are dealing with massive volumes of data coming from multiple sources, and without proper governance, these data can become inconsistent, insecure, and non-compliant. So what exactly is data governance? At its core, it refers to strategies, policies, and technologies that ensure data is secure, so protected against unauthorized access and breaches. It's compliant, it's accurate, it's accessible, it's auditable, with full visibility into data lineage and usage. So without proper governance, companies risk data silos, regulatory fines, security breaches, and poor decision making. This is where Unity Catalog comes in, a powerful building governance solution for Databricks that simplifies how organizations manage and secure their data. This Unity Catalog provides centralized governance, fine-grained access control, simplified data discovery, and again, automated lineage tracking. So full transparency into where the data comes from, how it's transformed, and who is using it. One of Unity Catalog's biggest advantages is the cross-cloud compatibility. So whether your data is in AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud, you can get a unified view and consistent security policies across your entire lakehouse environment. By using Databricks and Unity Catalog, businesses can unlock the full potential of their data while staying secure and compliant. With this approach, organizations don't just store and process data, they govern it for innovation and trust. So let's explore how this works in practice.
Thank you so much, Christy. Yeah, let's talk about conversational BI. And I would like to start by asking, when is the last time you had a conversation with your BI team? Do you know what is one, if not the most common interruption a BI engineer usually faces? From our experience, because we've both been there, that is ad hoc questions received from various business users. Usually there are simple questions and queries like, can you export me that data? Can you help me with that check? And that translates in users downloading data, bringing it into Excel or other tools and starting scrambling with it to get some charts or information that they use then further on their tasks. If only there was a way users, be it technical or not, could interact with the data that may have never seen before. There is, and it started to become more and more accessible in the last couple of years. And that's conversational BI, which is a new way through which organizations can act and interact with their data. For this purpose, we will use Genie, a feature built into the Databricks Data Intelligence platform as part of their AI and BI offerings. It offers conversational type of interaction with your data, leveraging generative AI models and a close integration with the Databricks platform ecosystem. It can answer natural language questions based on existing data to the access to the platform. It can help the BI team understand the needs and the patterns commonly recognized from the users and free these teams to actually spend the time where they bring most value, which is advanced analytics and actually extracting and harvesting useful information from the data itself. So let's dive into our demo for today. And let me start by going into Databricks. Okay. One moment. So let's see. I hope you can see my my screen. Today we will use this catalog, internal Genie, where we have multiple schemas. For the beginning, we will use demo clean. Then throughout the demo, we'll use mainly demo prep. Uh, these these schemas contain data based on AdventureWorks DW model from Microsoft SQL Server 2022 and contains data about the retail business that has activity in both reseller and internet and online sales models. And to start with that, just a quick presentation. Here in Demo Clean, we have just simple data with simple dimensional model with different dimensions like customers. Let's have a look at sample data. Hopefully it loads. Okay. If names, addresses, what else? Let's go a little bit into the internet sales table, which is here. We have product order numbers, product cost, sales amount, tax, and stuff like that. And to build a Genie space, you just have pretty much one prerequisite besides using Databricks. You need to have at least a serverless or a pro SQL warehouse. Here, let me create a new space. Let's call this Internet Sales Channel. And this is a space where various departments can query data about internet sales activity. We have already a serverless SQL warehouse that we started. We have to choose our tables, and for that we'll go to our catalog. We will choose the demo clean schema, and we'll choose the tables that we want to interact and be accessible within this Genie space. And for that, we will use currency, we will use date, we will use customers, we will use products and categories. Let's use promotions. Let's use internet sales and sales reason. We'll need also the sales reason dimension. What else? What else? Maybe sales territory and geography. That should do for now. And pretty much that's everything that you need to do to build your first Genie space. Click Save, and that's it. Here you are. Here you have your interaction panel with Genie. And for any Genie space, you have a sample question at the beginning that can help you understand what you are dealing with. That is the explain dataset. And this is actually a prompt that asks which are the tables, what tables are there, how are they connected, and to give us a short summary. And you can see here, it tells us all the information. And the beauty of it, we have a clean slate, let's say. This data is not properly governed. It doesn't have too many descriptions and everything like that. So if we go here again, I don't have anything to tell me about, I don't know, employee, not employee, product. I have a suggestion. I have no comments on my columns. I have nothing. And that's not really the recommended way. The better governance you have on top of your data, the better the accuracy and the results you will get from Genie. So what you can do, you can accept the suggested descriptions. You can use the embedded AI generated comments for each columns, and this will help Genie have a better understanding on the data that it has to work with. And if we go back to our Genie, so we have internet sales channel. If we go to our data, you will see here for dim date, I already had a description. Now I also have a description for the product dimension. And also you will see the metadata for the columns on which I already set it using the AI generated suggestions. For everything else, it's gonna be the AI model that has um, to understand that. Okay, now that we went through the setup, maybe some interesting things that should be covered here. Sample questions. Here you can put some questions that any users that access the space can select at the beginning. So let's say, what is our annual revenue? What is the monthly sales amount? Okay, save this. Now, what each user that will access the space when they want to build a new chat, they will be able to see these sample questions that we've just added and skip the writing part and just click on it. So let's say annual revenue. So it asks us which is the year for which we would like to know the annual revenue. And that's an important aspect of interacting with conversational BI systems. You need to give it details. It's similar to prompting a generative AI model like ChatGPT, Gemini, and others. If the broader the context it is, the easier it is for the model to hallucinate and to not give the proper response that we expect. So let's say I would like to know the annual revenue for 2011 to 2013. Okay. It will determine the relevant context. And after some thinking, it will give us the annual revenue for these years. And also it will give us some visualization of our data. So not only the sample, the plain values, but also a way to visualize it. And let's say visualize it as a line chart because we would like to see a trend over here. So use that, and we can see that from 2011, where we had like 7 millions. In 2012, we had 5.8 millions. Then we grew to 16 millions in 2013. So it took us how much? 30 seconds to get a trend, to get an information without accessing the data programmatically at all. Behind the scenes, Genie generates SQL queries that are built based on the information received from the natural language question. And we can see here that it selects the calendar year and the sum of sales as annual revenue. from the fact internet sales table, because that's the sales table. It's joining with a date dimension to use the calendar year filter. It groups by it, so this makes sense. And if you want, you can even interact with a query, change maybe some of the parameters, bring maybe some extra columns and data if you have the knowledge about it, and run. Let's see. Okay, so now we also have some data in 2010. Good. Let's go back to our spaces and let's use the internet sales space. This is a space that we have created beforehand, and let's go a little bit through it, what we have added here. So in the settings, we have all the same tables that we already chosen previously. We have some sample questions. What is the daily sales amount? What is the monthly sales? Which are the top 5 most sold products? What is the monthly sales amount in 2013 and stuff like that. Besides that, we have some instructions where we instruct Genie to use descriptions or names for products, categories, and promotions and other dimensions whenever possible, and always to calculate the gross profit at sales level based on sales amount and total product costs. Also, we have some example SQL queries that we know for sure that are correct. You can also add table-valued SQL functions that answer specific questions that users may have. And then whenever Genie accesses those functions, it will mark the answer as using a trusted asset because that SQL function was built and certified by the BI engineering team. Then we see the data. Now, in this case, all the data is properly documented, let's say. And we have documentation, which was AI generated using the same method as before for all the columns and the tables that we are using here. We also have a history, in which we'll deep dive a little bit later, and also benchmarks, which we'll cover also a little bit later. So moving to this, let's have a new chat. And going to what I was mentioning earlier, there's a big difference in how we ask the questions about the data. It's not as easy as give me that, or at least not always. If we ask what is the monthly sales amount, this is a perfectly valid question. What it will do, it will give me a breakthrough of sales for each month of the year. Yeah, so sales in January, sales in February, but it will do that for all the data that I have. So for all the years for which I have data, it will sum those values. Okay. No, actually, yeah, I guess it learned from my patterns earlier, but it usually gives at the beginning only the month by month sales. But again, it's the proof that the model behind can learn and can use those instructions and information to give better answers. But these are some simple questions. Let's try something a little bit more difficult, maybe. So we have promotions. Let's see what was the performance of promotions in 2013 and how did they compare with non-promotional sales? This is a query that may take a little bit of time. So I need to identify the promotional sales. I need to understand which were the non-promotional sales and see build a visualization for this. Maybe I need to put that in a presentation. But okay, it only gave me the promotional status. And let's have a look at the generated code. Okay, so when promotion key is null, then it's not promotional, else is promotional. And this promotion status. Okay. Can you split the analysis based on the promotions that were applied? Because we only have promotional. Okay. So now we have promotion keys and total sales. Yeah, not really easy to understand what is the promotion key. I mean, what does 1 and 2 mean? Let's do this. Can you regenerate analysis using the promotion names and visualize the results using a pie chart? Let's see. Can we do that? So right now, I would expect that it will also join with the promotion table and give me the promotion name. So here it is. So I have 50 millions of sales in the no discount promotion type. Then I have 1.2 millions in the volume discount. Then I have 2 dedicated promotions for maybe some products. And now I have my data. So I haven't had to go through the BI team, ask them like, hey, can you help me with this or can you help me with that? And pretty much I can use this out of the box. Moreover, I can interact with this data. Let's put it like this. Let's say you have some common words that you use within your organization to mean certain concepts. Let's consider we have gold mines, which are the products that have a profit margin of more than 40%. Let's see if Genie can help us with that. How many sales were generated from our gold mines in 2013? We have absolutely nothing to deal with gold or mines. So it tells us like what's gold mines. Now what we can do is that we'll tell the model that gold mines are products that have a profit margin bigger than 40%. So I was thinking, good. Let's see. So this is the number of sales transactions in 2013 that achieved a gross profit margin greater than 40%. It first filters the sales data for that year and then narrows it down to those transactions where the profit margin exceeds the specified threshold. So we already can see the reasoning here. Okay, so it's filtering the sales where the profit margin is bigger than 40%, and it's counting them. And compare it with the non-gold mines sales transactions. Let's see. Okay, so we see that gold mine and non-gold mine, but it's missing the categorization. It's union. Okay. We do not see the split between gold mine sales and non-gold mine sales. Let's see. Now I can already tell that, hey, this is not what I asked for. So I'll get this here. bad response because I want to have the BI team know about it. And let's see. Okay, now I can see something properly. Let's see, visualize it as a pie chart. Perfect. So I can see that most of my sales were generated by gold mine kind of products. Now, going back to this was wrong. And I should flag it. Whenever I see something wrong, the user should flag it as a bad response. Moreover, I can interact directly with the BI team through the platform and say like, hey, which is which? I do not understand this. Send for a review. Now, because I'm an admin, I see directly the request here, but how the BI team would see it, they would be in the history table, they would see this question, and I can flag, let's say, with the rating, and I can see all my negative questions. I can see all my positive ones. I can see which are the ones that have pending requests. Yeah. So I go here, I go on this transaction, on this question, and say which is which. I do not understand this. And I can reply, it seems like the generated query unions um, did not properly split the data and missed the description. I see that you already asked for that. Good job. And I review it. So I already interacted with the user. The user had a question and I review it. I give them the feedback that they need. And I can only see what's going on with the platform, how they are interacting with it and everything. So there's that. Let's go a little back to our chat earlier and understand this part of interaction. Here, I told Genie that gold mines are the products that have profit margin bigger than 40%. This is something that anyone can make use of. So what I can do, I can add this as an instruction. If we go to the instructions page, now we will see here the gold mines are products that have a profit margin bigger than 40%, accompanied by the query generated by the tool. Now, whenever I open a new chat, if I go and say, which is the sales amount generated by gold mines in 2011 and 2012. Let's see. Show generated. You can see that it already applied the instruction that I provided earlier. So this can be reused for any concept, for any terminology that I have, and it's, let's say, applicable only for my organization, and keep that. Moreover, what I can do to have a better accuracy of the replies, I can go into the benchmarks page, and here I can create what's called benchmark questions. These questions are some sample prompts that are accompanied by what's called a ground truth SQL statement. That SQL statement correctly answers the benchmark question every time every time it is ran. So let's say, what was our profit in 2014? What was the total gross profit? What was our revenue? How much did we sell? And let's run these benchmarks. I already have some runs. You can have a look at them in a moment. Okay, and I think we are close to the time, so I'll try to wrap it up with this idea. But okay, we see that the first question has something wrong. I don't know why it's running so low. It's a extra small warehouse though, so okay. Okay. What was our revenue in 2014? This matches. How much did we sell? This matches. What's the total gross profit in 2014? This matches, but the benchmark asks the engineer to review this because the way of thinking, let's say, of the model, the query that was generated is slightly different, but it does the same thing. So we will mark this as good. And then we will mark this as bad because the value is incorrect. What's the problem here? You can see that in the ground truth, we we calculate profit by subtracting sales amount from sales amount, the total cost, the tax amount, and the freight. But the query generated by the model is subtracting only the total product cost. So what we can do now is go to instructions and tell it here like comes to calculating profit. If not mentioned otherwise, consider net profit and calculate and subtract from sales amount the total product cost, tax amount, and freight. And I'll hit here save. And if we run again the benchmark, we should see that our value for the first question will actually be correct this time because I'm asking what's the profit, and you can see here that the value is the same. So now I ensure that I consider this kind of use case or question within the instructions that I give to the model. And just before we go into the Q&A, do you have any questions that you would like to ask Genie, like live?
I see one in the chat, Alex.
Okay, thank you.
There's someone asking if you can show the monthly tax percentage evolution.
Okay, let's see. Okay, let's give it, okay, it's okay. Let it pause. Let's see. So, can you show the monthly tax percentage evolution? Okay, back to square one. We need to give it the time frame. So let's put in 2013 and see. Okay, tax percentage. Okay, this doesn't look like 8. So can you show two decimals? Yeah. That was a very good extra prompt, but in the view of time, okay. Yeah, no. Can you calculate the tax percentage compared to sales amount. And the one X percentage sales amount is into decimals for the year 2015. Let's see if this does better. Okay. Okay. It doesn't want to do that. Show generated X amount. Let's do it like this. Okay. So, okay. Way too many. Way too many decimals as a difference over here.
But I think it answers the question in the end.
Yeah,
Uh,
you can ask pretty much many concepts. If the model cannot interpret that natural language concept into a query, what it can do is what you can do, as you have seen earlier, you can give it instructions to what that concept should be calculated. So at the end of the day, tax percentage should not really vary too much one to another, but it looks good. Okay, let me go back to the presentation and go into the Q&A mode. So I see we have some questions.
I see a question which I get pretty often, so I'd love to answer this one from Mihaela Fischer, I think.
Okay.
Should the business rely solely on conversational BI? So, conversational BI is a great tool for quick insights and ad hoc queries, so making data more accessible to users without needing deep technical expertise. However, I don't think businesses should rely on it exclusively because deep analysis often requires complex data modeling, statistical techniques, custom calculations that conversational BI may not handle well. So also complex reporting involve detailed dashboards, KPIs, and predictive analytics, and so on. So in a simple answer, no. It complements traditional business intelligence, but cannot replace deep analysis, complex reporting, and strategic decision making.
And if I may add to that, indeed, conversational BI is an extra tool. So as you have already dashboards and paginated reports, you don't want to replace those with conversational BI. What you want to do is you want to understand your business users' interest, to understand what's their needs. Maybe you are not covering some of their needs within the report, and conversational BI can help with that, but it um, uh, should not replace traditional BI. It's an extension. Right now, it's a nice tool, but I would not see it going to replace conventional or traditional BI in the next
I think
time
what
frame.
you're adding right now, Alex, goes hand in hand with another question, which is how
Okay.
does conversational BI impact current BI teams?
I think
Uh,
it answers that also. So uh, for sure, it's a new input channel for the current BI teams. And it's also a feature and a way that BI teams can actually um, save a little bit more on their time or actually spend that time for valuable efforts like actually harvesting information from the data.
So it basically reduces the BI team's workload by handling routine queries while allowing the BI team to focus on data governance, modeling, and advanced analytics. Long story short. Um, what other questions do we have? Let's see. How do you ensure the validity of the information business users get? Mm,
That's a good question. Would you like to take that?
yeah. So basically, to ensure the validity of the information the business users receive, you must implement several key measures like data governance, so establishing clear policies and standards to maintain the data quality, consistency, and security. Um, Metadata management, like data definitions, relationships, and business rules. They need to be well documented and standardized. Access controls, restricting data based on user roles and permissions. AI tuning, what you just saw, what Alex did. So continuously improve the natural language processing models and validation mechanisms. So implementing data validation checks, audits, automated error detection, and so on. So to simply answer your questions, through data governance, metadata management, access control, and AI tuning, you can ensure validity of the information business users get.
And what I would like to add here is this is, let's say, one of the iterations of this kind of concept. It will only evolve moving on. So I'm sure extra uh, features will be added. And again, this should be as used also as a feedback and feed forward mechanism. You should look at the questions people get. Users should interact, as I showed, and review the data that they get and say like, hey, is this correct? And yeah, it starts with governance for sure. And you cannot ensure that um, you cannot ensure the accuracy without metadata. And there's also things like SQL functions that you control and you certify these kinds of assets to answer common questions. So I hope that answered uh, the question. I see another one here. How can you make sure that users don't have access to the data they should not through Genie prompts? Well, that's where Unity Catalog comes in place, and I missed sharing the sharing part. When you create a space, you can share it. So you can go to the share section and you can add some users. Let's share it with Christian. Okay. And I can tell that this user has different ways to interact with Genie. The user can manage, can edit, can run, or can view the feature in Databricks. It will email, like copy a link. But behind the scenes, it's actually the Unity catalog that tells, okay, this user has either direct access or is part of the group that has access to those tables. So even if here I put a table, I don't know, let's say internet sales reason is available only for some of the users within the organization, they can try to query it. They will receive an error that they don't have access to it because Unity Catalog says, hey, this user tries to run this query on this table, but it doesn't have access. So it's just using the role-based access policy over there. And I hope that also answered the question. Uh,
Pretty much, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And I don't see any other questions.
Uh, Thank you all for attending our webinar. We hope you enjoyed it. Also, please take the time to fill in the feedback form. I think it should be in the chat already. It